did not even know that this is what it is. It is such an amazing journey, coming from it being just a cosmetic surgery for him to look a certain way, so that as a priest, like he said, he is a priest, so he does preach in front of people. He wanted to look a particular way, but he went from being cosmetic all the way to trying to combat the pain and get rid of the pain that he was experiencing. Like he said, the keloids were actually once bigger than they were today, but through the 7th surgery, it was actually a success, and we are so happy to hear that. These are the stories we share with you right here on Against All Odds. Make sure to join us again next time as we give you more inspiring stories. Until then, do take care.
Enjoy real value online with TM Pick and Pay Click and Collect. It's time for the news.
It is a beautiful evening and a warm welcome. This is a live broadcast of the Sunday edition. We're live at the Hill in Pocketville Highlands, Harare, the capital city. I am Leanne Bernard.
My name is Joyce Mabika.
With Peaceway Jomunyika interpreting the bulletin in sign language.
Later on, Sukela Maposa will be joining us from our Montrose studios in Bulawayo. For now, let's take a look at our leading stories. National heroes Comrade Chena Muchimtengwende and Major General retired Solomon Sizwa to be buried on Wednesday.
We celebrate Namibia's first female president in our Aman African feature tonight.
In our This and That feature, Matabeleland South Bureau Chief Providence Maranelli digs deeper into the vendor funeral rituals.
Introduction of the online border management system improves efficiency at the ports of entry.
Find out how the system operates in our science and technology feature.
Those are leading stories tonight. We start off with the main news.
The late national heroes, Comrade Chena Muchimtengwende and Major General retired Solomon Sizwa, who died last week, will be buried at the National Heroes Acre on Wednesday. More from the following report.
Logistics for the burial of the two national heroes, Comrade Chena Muchimtengwende and Major General retired Solomon Sizwa, who died last week, are in place, with the burial date set for Wednesday at the National Shrine in Harare. Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage Minister Honorable Kazembe Kazembe confirmed the development to the ZBC News.
We've had meetings with the two families to agree on the dates and places of burial. And we have all agreed that the burial of the two national heroes will take place on Wednesday, the 22nd of January, at the National Heroes Acre. And all preparations are on course, all logistics are in place. We expect large numbers of people to pay our last respects to our two gallant sons of the soil. Buses have been arranged and everything else has been arranged. Everything is in place. And we expect people to be seated by 8 a.m. at the National Heroes Acre.
As the hearse carrying the body of the national hero Major General retired Solomon Sizwa approached his homestead in Kwali, there was silence as the community was failing to come to terms with the passing on of one of their own. The body was ushered into the homestead accompanied by praise poetry as per local tradition, asking the family ancestors to welcome their son, the national hero, home.
Ulale kuomela mulala botakala na kuomela bomiliji na bosikisiki bokulu bao nabo masugajira nabandlovu awuna chintulo sola uwodelani.
The various speakers spoke glowingly on the national hero.
Vele enkwale esigabeni sona esisenkwale ngathi what 24 bese sithi vele hayi ungathi ngumna kaSiziba, you are somebody.
Ndiene mutu obona fara buleke yote na abana bangone pachi dachi bajia chitwa na obachi trainer usoli asina nguya muvula wari ofi nendiko itame
adari atinyage mutu anosala sina chitupa enenga ngo radio 3 days ri secondary kwali anaborine ya zitupa zo jiya bukuma bamwe ntali chaba baby baba basina zitupa
okwayenza u General Siziba akhohlwe ngesikolo ahambe ukuthulwela ilizwe ukuze sithole lokho esikutholileyo sibe yilokho esiyikho khona namhlanje. Sikubonga ngani, sitshengisa ngani ukuthi lokho abasenzele khona siyakubonga.
Matebeleland South Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Dr. Evelyn Ndlovu, described the late national hero as an epitome of patriotism.
Ubaba General Siziba was a shining example of courage, loyalty and dedication. Throughout his illustrious career, he demonstrated unwavering commitment to the values of justice, equality and freedom. He was a true patriot who selflessly served our nation with honor and distinction.
Meanwhile, his body has left Nkwali for Bulawayo, where it will lie instead at his Kilani home awaiting a military parade to be held at Mbizo Barracks.
The electronic government procurement system is on track in line with the global digital trends. The system enhances operations in the procurement sector. We get more from our business editor, Stanley James.
The Procurement Regulatory Authority of Zimbabwe, PRAZ, is fulfilling its mandate of training and capacitating procurement professionals since the launch of the system in January last year.
Last year, we started implementing our electronic government procurement. We implemented it as a pilot phase, but in our case now, unlike other jurisdictions, in our pilot, we took every procuring entity on board. So yes, we discovered some teething problems as they were trying to implement, and it was phase 1. Up to phase 1.2, which is supplier registration. So this year, financial year 2025, it's full throttle now, where we are having all procuring entities now conducting their procurement on electronic government procurement.
The training of procurement professionals, which started in Harare this year, will be rolled out to other parts of the country.
We found it prudent that we then must take the practitioners on board in terms of by step, because right now the phase which we are talking about is the e-procurement, where we are talking of e-evaluation, e-awarding, and also the reports which are generated for decision making, which are generated in the system.
The government is focusing on an efficient procurement system to stamp out irregularities and facilitate value for money on goods and services offered by the contractors. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
A government has pledged a crackdown on smuggling of drinks and other goods and commodities to protect the local industry from unfair competition.
The operation to combat the influx of smuggled goods and drinks flooding local markets, launched late last year, is continuing as part of strides to support the recapitalization and growth of the local industry. This came out during the recent tour of Invictus Steel and Mtare Bottling Company by a delegation from the Office of the President and Cabinet, led by the Permanent Secretary for Presidential Affairs and Devolution, Engineer Tafazwa Muguti, who pledged the government's commitment to end smuggling and support the devolution agenda.
Coca-Cola here is working at 46% capacity, and at 46 capacity, they're already producing almost 500,000 bottles a day. Now, imagine if we can take them to 100% capacity. So, my visit also comes following the festive season, where government responded to a cry from the Delta Group for Coca-Cola, where we had an influx of smuggled products competing with Coca-Cola from other countries, which was coming in. Now we are busy looking back and saying, as government, how do we protect our own economy? I think for the longest time, us as Zimbabweans have been taking our own economy for granted, favoring high profit over sustainability. And now where we are as government, we're saying going forward now, we would rather protect the Zimbabwean economy, protect the Zimbabwean jobs, protect the provincial economies so that we can have a national economy to talk about.
Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Mishek Mgaza, says the operation will continue as part of measures to protect the local industry.
The government, ably led by Dr. Emerson Mnangagwa, has given strict instructions to wipe out all the illegal activities pertaining to the sale and distribution of the illegal drinks. We took up the challenge just before the holidays, and the results have been positive. We are happy that this company has reported that they saw a positive move as a result of the operation.
Government is implementing a number of measures to stop the influx of smuggled goods, including deploying security systems, increasing penalties, and strengthening legal frameworks. Kenya's Sivuje, ZBC News, Mutare.
The Zimbabwe Republic Police has so far arrested over 5,000 traffic offenders in its bid to restore order in the Harare Central Business District.
The operation against errant motorists being carried out by the police in Harare's CBD in an effort to restore sanity is paying off, with thousands of arrests having been effected.
We have 5,138 traffic violators who are operating outside the country's laws, who have been accounted for by the Zimbabwe Republic Police. And we continue to appeal to operators, public service vehicle operators, to lead by example. Let us not just have talk shows, but let us have real action in terms of compliance with the law, in terms of, assisting the Zimbabwe Republic Police to maintain law and order in the country.
Commuters believe if police enforce the traffic laws, sanity will prevail.
Asi vakapinda kana murengi umu zvozviraiti vakapinda murengi zvozviraiti ungotakura une order vose mapepa vakakwana ekuti kana mapurisa akauya autizi
madhiraivha edu dhiraivhawo zvakanaka kwete kuita kwese musaende ne-one way titonokurudzira kuti madhiraivha edu asapinde ne-one way.
Last week, social media was awash with videos of errand drivers in running battles with the police, prompting the operation to restore sanity. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
We are streaming live on our Facebook page. As usual, we will be taking note of those comments that are trickling in as we speak. Williams Brain says, good evening there, Zimbabwe. Brendan K. Miga also says, good evening. As well as one says, my bubbles. I wonder what she means by bubbles. She also sends her greetings. Always good to see people reaching out from across the globe. Yesterday we had Russia, South Africa,
Australia, Sydney.
Absolutely.
People are watching from all over the world. And we also have Wisdom Mutanga, who's watching from Cheetown. And Patricia Mota says, our tourism has improved tremendously. We thank our minister and all stakeholders.
Wow, there we are. Compliments to the tourism sector there. And now next story, Joyce.
Now next story, a government has outlined the transformation roadmap for the Mbare Musika Traders Market after concluding engagements with technical experts from Kazan, Russia this weekend.
And now the model to be adopted for the Mbare Musika Traders entails development of a world-class 3-story building fitted with cold chain amenities for perishable agriculture products, as well as the banking facilities.
Theophilus Juma speaks to the head of delegation for the Kazan visit, Honorable Daniel Gary.
Basically what we've seen is a traders market that speaks to the language of a supermarket. We're looking at a traders market which competes favorably with any store in terms of the quality of service, in terms of how the goods are being processed. We share knowledge, we share experiences, our engineers had serious meetings with the technical team from this side. So what we want to do is to, when we look at the health side, what is it that we can improve, develop at home? So we came with the Minister of Health and Child Care.
Now, I'm looking at this whole initiative where you pointed that this is a public-private partnership between governments and private players. Now, the impressions or the impression of this market that you are creating, you have benchmarked it to global standards. Upon completion, how will this market look like?
So just imagine a huge building with one roof, 3 floors. The ground floor, obviously, looking at perishable items, farm produce. The second floor, maybe computer wares and things like that. And the third floor with any other products. So the life of a space baron is coming to a dead end. And we're not going to entertain in space barons. That's why we're going to be revising the bylaws to ensure that anyone who tries to create some spaces there or illegally want to sell spaces will be arrested. We are going to be having the Zimbabwe Republic Police post on site. We're going to be having the municipal police for City of Harare on site. And we're going to be within the structure. We're going to be having the traders with their offices. We're going to be having Minister of Women Affairs with an office. And we have spoken to a number of banks who are very keen to come and establish banks. The modalities of how they work is what we're going to be finalizing as we go forward.
So you have come to Kazan and you have seen how this nation has implemented their agro markets. Going back home, looking at the timeframes for implementation.
When we were given this directive last year in October, we did not sit and say we'll wait for the option moment where we're going to be visiting Kazan to start implementation. We started with what we're calling a provisional market, which is very permanent, by the way, which we're going to be handing over to City of Harare and the Minister of Women Affairs end of January, which is going to accommodate 2,500 traders.
In an update from the courts, 2 police officers from Mutare who allegedly demanded a bribe from a motorist were nabbed and arraigned in court, charged with bribery.
The 2 47-year-old Dudzai, Jennifer Chiponda and Glenislin Mutsago, 38, were arrested after they were allegedly lured to Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission ZAC offices by a taxi driver whom they had demanded a bribe from. It is alleged that the pair had arrested the taxi driver for illegally pirating before demanding a $90 United States bribe from him in exchange for the release of his vehicle. Further allegations are that the driver pleaded that he did not have the demanded money and requested that they go to his employer's residence to collect the money. He drove to the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission offices under the pretext that he was going to his employer. Upon getting there, he parked outside the gate and entered the premises, leaving the accused outside. He allegedly reported the matter to ZAC officials, who then accompanied him, posing as his employer. The duo allegedly insisted on their demand for a bribe, but the ZAC officials successfully negotiated for the amount to be reduced to $20 United States. The accused persons were handed the money and tried to run away when officers from ZAC arrested them. They were granted bail and will be back in court next week. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
From our courts update, we take you to our Montreal studios in Bulawayo. Subukele Maposa is now on standby to give us more news from that end. A very good evening to you, Subukele. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Joyce. Good evening to you, and Zimbabwe, good evening as well. We'll take you through the next stories from this end. Starting with the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Services in Midlands that has come up with a cocktail of measures to mitigate the devastating effects of climate change. Let's hear more.
The new measures have seen prison officers and inmates engaging stakeholders to make a number of activities aimed at preserving the environment. Part of the activities include continuous plantation of trees and finding alternative sources of energy.
We have rolled a program where every officer
including our dependents, is at least to plant a tree each and every year. So far, as Midlands Province, from all our stations, we have been involved in the planting of trees. We have plans to introduce biogas as another form of electricity, especially at this complex, because we noted that we rely heavily in cooking, which is actually a disservice in terms of our efforts to plant trees.
Development partners have urged the society to embrace the culture of planting trees and preservation of nature for posterity.
Tive sustainability plan kuti zvatinenge tadzvara zvirambe zvichirarama. Ndoda kukuyeuchidzai kuti iko munoziva here kuti miti inogona kurarama isu tisipo, asi hatigoni kurarama isu miti isipo. Zvakutidzidzisa kuti ngatiichengetedzei.
So we are investing in a greener, healthier and future. We are combating the climate change as far as reducing air pollution and mitigating the devastating impact of natural disaster. Like what the Commission has said, that last year we were struck by the storm because we didn't have enough trees. But the reason why we are planting all these trees is for us to have cover from harsh environmental conditions.
The world is grappling with adverse effects of climate change, and the efforts by the ZPCS are commendable as they go a long way in curbing the effects of climate change. Tafara Chukumira, ZBC News, Gweru.
The nation has been urged to uphold unity and peace as the bedrock for a prosperous Zimbabwe.
Friends and family bid farewell to Liberation War collaborator and former ZBC camera person Kombe Solomon Chinara in Bulawayo this Sunday at Nkolomana Heroes Acre. In a speech read on her behalf, Bulawayo Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Judith Ncube, emphasized the importance of unity and collective effort in building a prosperous and peaceful Zimbabwe.
His Excellency, the President Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa's vision that this country be an upper middle income society by 2030 cannot be achieved without the unity of purpose. Hence, we should remain resolute and focused on building our nation.
The Chinara family expressed their deep sorrow at the loss of their loved one.
Saka tarasikirwa zingaiti, tarasikirwa munhu medu, asi ndinotenda hurumende nezvayaititira. Iye zvinozva mundaitirwa nehurumende yatorinyaradza.
The youth were rallied to continue defending the gains of the liberation struggle.
We don't know what our resources that to all we want is to create areas for population resources by imperialists, and we are fighting for that. We are fighting to enslave ourselves. The unfortunate part is that abantu abalele lapha namhlanje loba bolele lapha namhlanje comrade usithiya kuleso state.
Friends of the deceased spoke fondly of his professionalism and dedication to his craft.
It's a befitting honor to the character that is Solo was, and we are happy that the nation has recognized one of us.
He was a leader, a father, advisor, and a colleague.
Born in 1952 in Keza district, Kombe Chinara joined the liberation struggle as a war collaborator, recruiting boys and girls to join the armed struggle, disguising his movement as a musician. At independence, he worked for the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, where he rose to the role of a camera person based in Bulawayo until his retirement. He is survived by his wife Alice, 5 children, and several grandchildren. Elandmoy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Women's representation and participation in national politics is moving on a positive trajectory. Today in our Amen African feature, we profile Namibia's Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah on becoming the latest female head of state.
Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah has made history as Namibia's first female president, joining an elite group of female political leaders across the continent. Born on 29 October 1952 in Onamchai village, Oshana region, Nandi-Ndaitwah went to St. Mary's Mission School in Odibo. She was politically active from a young age, joining the ruling Southwest Africa People's Organization SWAPO at the age of 14 and later becoming leader of the SWAPO Youth League in Ovamboland, the party's northern home base. As the SWAPO-led resistance against South Africa's white minority rule was in full swing, Nandi Ndaitwa was arrested and detained during students' protest. In 1974, she fled into exile and continued to work with the movement while in Zambia and Tanzania. After attending a course at the Lenin Higher Komsomol School in the Soviet Union from 1975 to 1976, Nandi Ndaitwa graduated with a diploma in the work and practice of the Communist Youth Movement. She then studied at the Glasgow College of Technology in the UK, graduating in Public Administration and Development in 1987. In 1988, she obtained a postgraduate diploma in international relations and a further master's degree in diplomatic studies from Keele University in 1989. Upon her return to Namibia in 1989, she was appointed Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. She served in this capacity until her appointment as Director General of the Department of Women Affairs with a ministerial rank in the Office of the President from 1996 to 2000. She also served as the SWAPO Party Deputy Secretary General in 1996. Nandi Ndaitwa was the Rapporteur General of the Fourth World Conference on Women held in Beijing, China in 1995 and Minister of Women Affairs and Child Welfare from 2000 to 2005. She has played a pivotal role in advocating for the protection of the rights of women and children. She became the Minister of Information and Broadcasting between 2005 and 2008, after which she was transferred to the Ministry of Environment and Tourism. In December 2012, Nandi Ndaitwa was assigned to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In 2015, she was appointed Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of International Relations. In 2017, Nandi Ndaitwa was elected Vice President of SWAPO, becoming the first woman to hold such position. In March 2023, the late President Hage Geingob named Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwa as SWAPO's presidential candidate in the 2024 Namibian general election. Following Geingob's death in February 2024, Nandi Ndaitwa was appointed as Vice President. On 3 December 2024, she was officially declared the President-elect of the Republic of Namibia after she secured over 57% of the votes, while her closest rival, Panduleni Itula, received 26%. She will be inaugurated on 21 March 2025. Nandi Ndaitwa is married to Epraphas Ndaitwa, the former chief of Namibia's defense forces, and the couple has 3 sons.
Beautiful profile there. While the Sunday edition will now take a break, returning with more news from our Harare news desk. I am Sibiana Maposa. Don't go away and have a lovely evening.
The Executive Director for the Presidential and National Scholarships Department in the Office of the President and Cabinet invites applications for the registration of scholarship nominations for the 2025 to 2026 academic year. For further details, interested applicants can refer to the press or inquire on 263-242-793-472 or 263-242-255-32 or 4 or plus 263-242-794-767.
Zimbabwe Tourism Authority is calling all operators of tourist facilities who have not registered or those with expired licenses and certificates to come forward and register their facilities in compliance with the provisions of Section 36 of the Tourism Act, Chapter 14, 20 of 1996 by 15 February 2025. According to Statutory Instrument Number 106 of 1996, categories of the tourist facilities that must be registered with the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority include but are not limited to conference organizers, restaurants, whether in hotel or otherwise, fast food restaurants, vehicle, bicycle, boat, bus hire, curio shops, tour operators, hunting operators, tour guides, non-hotel conference facilities and venues, travel agents including those online, accommodation including hotels, lodges, guest houses, camps and campsites, bed and breakfast accommodation, Airbnb accommodation, visitor attractions including game parks, farms, art galleries, visitor activities including golf, horse riding, bungee jumping, wedding venues, picnic or braai sports, open air function venues. All facilities that register or renew their licenses and certificates on or before the 15th of February 2025 will have no penalties charged. From the 1st of March 2025, the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, in conjunction with law enforcement agents, will be deployed to bring all unregistered facilities to book. For further information and assistance, please do not hesitate to contact us at the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority offices that are located across the country. Travel and experience Zimbabwe. Zimbo.
Crafted with the finest flavors, Cartwright's Wasabi Mix brings a hearty taste to every meal. Made for moments shared, for smiles around the table, and for the days when only a comforting bowl will do. Perfect for every meal, every time. Cartwright's Wasabi Mix. Every meal done right.
A warm welcome back. We're taking it up now from the capital. It's always a pleasure seeing Sibukile there from the other side of the screen. Joyce, an interesting story we have tonight. Any experiences on funeral ceremonies, like rituals?
Oh, of course. I've seen a lot of diverse cultures, and a lot happens at funerals. I just want to zoom into the Shona culture, where I've seen daughters-in-law open the way for the deceased, and how they open the way is they just sweep their path to the grave.
Wow.
That's one ritual that I have seen.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
interesting, which takes us to our next story. To some, death is just but the separation of the body and the soul, whilst for others it is the final step to the afterlife.
Yes, but a mystery remains on the funeral rituals, with the Venda people of Beitbridge performing some special rites to separate the dead from the living.
And now our Matabeleland South Bureau Chief Providence Marinelli digs deeper into the Venda funeral rituals. Let's take a look.
In this luminous world shrouded with mystery and superstitions, there are things that mortal beings of this contemporary generation may not understand. Death and rituals are part of the mystique that usually confuse most people. Beitbridge West is the home of a Venda where special funeral rites are performed. Navigating these raw pathways, one bumps into a winnowing basket with a pestle on top and 4 stones inside the basket. We are told the basket and the pestle were part of the bereavement and grief ritual that has been passed through the Venda generations. So clear is the message that the villagers know the status of the person who has passed on. They tell us that the winnowing basket with a crossing pestle indicates the death of either a husband or a wife, while the stones indicate the gender.
When we are done with mourning, the surviving spouse carries the winnowing basket and the pestle on the head, and they proceed to the road intersection and place those things there. In the past, women used to wear a black dress as a sign of showing that I am a widow. This practice is done so that the surviving spouse is not subjected to misfortunes. If you do not do that, it is believed that the body of the surviving spouse can start swelling.
In every community, communication is key, and the ritual is a form of communication to the Venda people.
This is the Venda tradition, and if someone doesn't do that, they may face life challenges. Once we see a winnowing basket and a pestle, we know it's a message to the community about somebody who has lost a partner.
There are stones placed in the winnowing basket that relay a message on whether the deceased is female or male. If there are 4 stones inside the winnowing basket, it means it's a woman who has died. But for a man, only 3 stones are put inside the winnowing basket.
Whether these rituals have a bearing on the lives of the living, we will never know, but the death of a loved one can activate a complex of emotions, thoughts, behaviors among those who are left behind. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Bedbridge.
Well, that's part of our rich African culture. If you're watching from our Facebook page, be sure to put a comment and tell us what you have observed in some of our local cultures. We now shift our attention to the technological advanced world of innovators, where the introduction of the online border management system has automated immigration procedures and reduced the need for physical human intervention at entry and exit points. In this week's Science and Technology feature, we explore how the system operates.
The adoption of the online border management system has made the border crossing faster and more secure, thereby reducing congestion at the country's entry points. Principal Immigration Officer at Forbes Border Post, Tarira Ichimasha, explains how the system operates, with travelers having an option of filling their information on their phones prior to coming to the port of entry, while the details filled are automatically translated to English or any preferred language by the clearing officer, thereby breaking the language barrier.
This is our tablet for the online border management system. Travelers are coming into Zimbabwe, they have to put their details in the system. The moment they put their details in the tablet, yes, their details will reflect even on the counters. Their officers who are working there at the counters, they will see all the details that has been put in the tablet. So our tablet has got options. The first thing, there's a language option. On the top there's English, France, Dutch, and others. And then at the bottom we have the Portuguese language. If a person decides to put his details in any language which is here, it may be Portuguese, it may be German or French. Since English, we use in Zimbabwe, we use English as our media language. What reflects on the officer, monitor, is English language. So there's an option again to change the language.
The system employs a complex network of computers to automate various aspects of border control, thereby reducing human interface.
After entering this, you just scan the passport and the electric gate, and automatically you're in the country. So whatever is happening here, the in charge can see it in his office, the regional manager can see it in his office, then the officials at the HQ, the directors at the HQ, they can also access the information.
Chimasha also explains how the biometric face recognition operates, among other critical components of the system.
After putting the details on the gadgets, hand over your travel document to the officer, and then the officer he scans the passport, takes a picture of the owner of the passport. It shows the percentage of matching between the passport and the face of the owner of the passport. Then if the officer is satisfied, he checks you in. Then he stamps your passport, then you can proceed to enter into Zimbabwe. Right. So this system, even when we do not have network, it can do the offline capturing. And when the network comes back, it updates the details on its own.
Travelers using e-passports can scan their documents and provide facial and fingerprint data, allowing for quick and contactless entry or exit. Kenya's Chevuje, ZBC News, Mutare.
That story taking us to a break. Don't go away. We return with Sports Buzz after these messages.
In every heart is the dream of greatness. Football is more than a game. It is hope. It is unity. It is the future. Every journey starts with a single kick. As a dedicated, and passionate individual, I, Nobile Magwizi, am ready to lead Zimbabwean football into a new era. My transformative agenda is built on uniting stakeholders, restoring integrity, and fostering grassroots talent. I firmly believe every player deserves a chance to shine. From our humble beginnings to dreaming on the global stage, we know that talent must be nurtured and dreams deserve to flourish. That's why I'm asking for your vote to become the president of the Zimbabwe Football Association. It's time to focus on it. Together, we can restore pride, nurture talent, and create a lasting legacy for future generations. Vote for me, Nobile Magwizi, and let's transform Zimbabwean football together.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. We start off with sports bars, cricket news. Stumps have been called on day 3 of the Logan Cup match between the Southern Rocks and the Eagles at Harare Sports Club, with the Eagles trailing by 66 runs.
The Eagles finished the day on 259 runs for a loss of 3 wickets after 58 overs, with Craig Avon unbeaten on 78 and Wesley Madevere on 29. The pair shared an unbeaten 65-run partnership to help the Eagles finish the day on a strong note. Earlier in the day, the Eagles had resumed their chase after a rain delay, with the openers Tinashe Kamunukamwe and Kudzai Maunze having put on a solid 65-run partnership. Kamunukamwe was unbeaten on 47, while Maunze had contributed 13. The Eagles had bowled out Southern Rocks for 325, with Alex Russell taking a 5-wicket haul. The Rocks had resumed the day on 322 runs for 9, but were unable to add many more runs to their total. The match will resume on Monday, with the Eagles looking to continue their fight back and overhaul the Rocks' total. Anna Shemurombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
401 have reduced the gap between themselves and the log leaders Sunshine Stars to 3 points after picking up a 2-1 victory over TFC Raja at the Stoddart Netball Complex this Sunday.
401 capitalized on Sunshine Stars' postponed match this Sunday to cut the points deficit in their Northern Region Futsal League title push this Sunday. Tinashe Musadunguza put on a solid show on the court to help his side edge out TFC Raja and keep the title race exciting after 18 rounds of matches. Sunshine Stars themselves could not respond to 401's win as their match against Glen Stars was postponed due to rain, but we have all to do next weekend if they are to consolidate their 6-point margin. Sunshine Stars lead the title charge with 46 points after playing 17 matches, just 3 points ahead of 401. We have played 17 matches too. In other encounters, Kilworth Academy came out on top in an 8-goal thriller at the same venue. Peter Nyson was on fire for Kilworth, guiding his team to a 5-3 victory over Bundu Boys, and Tak Mundial got the edge over Shibobo with a 2-1 victory. The Rains were on Real Stars' side as third-placed 16 Views were stopped in their tracks 6 minutes after halftime, leading Real Stars by a whopping 4-0. Reynaud Ngwarati, ZBC News, Harare.
And now in football, Jadel Football Academy is set to host the 7th edition of the Jadel Junior Football Tournament on the 25th of this month, and this will be taking place at Old Georgians Football Club.
The academy has been buzzing with excitement as delegates from China arrived at the Robert Mugabe International Airport in preparation for the tournament. This year's edition is particularly significant as it forms a part of the Academy's ambitious 2034 project. Launched 6 years ago, the 2034 project aims to produce Zimbabwean players who represent the country at the World Cup. To achieve this goal, Jadel Football Academy has been maintaining a database of junior players, carefully nurturing their talent and monitoring their progress.
The project has been moving very well and smooth. I think this is the 7th edition, which speaks volumes that we've been doing something behind the scenes, and we've developed and we are still developing talent. And I think this should be nationalized, I think, because this is more to do with the 2034 project.
The Academy's efforts have already begun to bear fruit. In the last edition of the tournament, Team Zimbabwe conquered China in the 100 Cup tournament held in Beijing. Jadot Football Academy is home to over 130 kids, including boys and girls from across Zimbabwe. The Academy's commitment to developing young talent has been further bolstered by its partnership with the Premier Soccer League outfit Scotland Football Club. Through this partnership, Jadot Football Academy will develop players who feed into Scotland, providing a clear pathway for young players to progress from the grassroots to professional football. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
And that's our look at sport for this evening. Taking us to a break. Stay with us for more news.
Moshe.
Have you heard about Marechera?
Hanziko.
But he says keeper. They say he has this glow about him now. He doesn't walk.
Hey.
He glides.
Yo.
And he's so calm that he doesn't perspire.
I heard that he owns a bank.
Let's go.
The most secured bank in the whole world.
And his dollars, he irons his money.
He has got people who irons his money for him.
But have you heard that when he coughs, money just comes out of the blue? Out of the orange.
Let's go. Hey, yo.
Marechera.
Says Keeper, Zakuendeka, introducing the new Mukuru wallet. Send, store, spend. There's Mukuru for that.
Get your business ready for the festive season with ZBC. Join us for the ZBC Mega Festive Business Promotion running from the 1st of November of 2024 all the way to January 31 of 2025. Enjoy an incredible cash discount of over 50% across all ZBC platforms. This is your opportunity to make your business shine. So celebrate with ZBC and watch your business thrive by simply booking your spot right now. For more information, call Tandeka on 0719 594 426 or Martha on 0719 593 532 or Precious on 0719 593 510 or email tandeka.mubi@zbc.co.zw. Terms and conditions apply.
ZBC Current Affairs, thriving for excellence and perfection in setting the agenda, shaping the Zimbabwean story and sustaining the narrative through detailed analysis and discussions, bringing to you polished live coverage of national events. We are ZBC Current Affairs, delivering to you the national budget, live parliamentary debates, independence, Heroes Day and Defense Forces events. We bring you insightful documentaries, special programs, and thought-provoking debates. ZBC Current Affairs. We are definitely Zimbabwean, telling an accurate, balanced, and unfettered Zimbabwean story.
There's only one place to find all your favorites, but sometimes this happens. E16 errors are caused by a few different things, but they are easy to clear without fuss or queues. Just dial your country's USSD code, select Fix Errors,
enter your IUC number and select the error code E16. Or scan this QR code to download the new My DSTV app. Tap the Fix button on the homepage, select E16 error from the drop-down menu and tap Clear Error. Staying connected to your home of entertainment is always in your control with DSTV.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. And I'll give you news coming through from the United States, where a new U.S. law banning TikTok has come into effect hours after the popular app stopped working across the country. Late on Saturday, a message appearing on the TikTok for United States users said a law banning TikTok has been enacted, meaning you cannot use TikTok for now. The video sharing app was banned over concerns about its links to the Chinese government. It was given until the 19th of January to be sold to an approved U.S. buyer to avert the ban. President Joe Biden had said he would leave the issue to his successor, and that's Donald Trump. The president-elect has said he will most likely give TikTok a 90-day reprieve from a ban once he takes office on Monday. Trump told NBC News on Saturday that the 90-day extension is something that will be most likely done. Users reported the app had also been removed from both Apple and Google US app stores, and TikTok.com was not showing videos in line with the terms of the ban.
And now it looks like content creators will be affected by that TikTok ban. And an update from tennis. Novak Djokovic has set up a mouth-watering Australian Open quarter-final against Carlos Alcaraz with a convincing victory over Gerard Leclerc. Djokovic continued his bid for a record 25th Grand Slam title with a 6-3, 6-4, 7-6, 7-4 win against the Czech 24th seed. And now he will face Alcaraz in the last 8 after the Spaniard progressed when the British number 1 Jack Draper retired with a hip injury earlier on Sunday. And Alcaraz has beaten Djokovic in the past 2 Wimbledon finals, but the Serb got to the better of the 21-year-old to win gold at the Paris Olympics last summer. Djokovic's self-proclaimed biggest sporting achievement. Djokovic was booed by the crowd as Lecter threatened to force a 4th set, and the 11th time Australian Open champion was quick to leave Rod Laver Arena after his victory.
Well, I'm sure we can't wait to find out what transpired on the Power FM chat show. Well, Sunday, Gangsta Salad by Mugaratia was this week's top climber, Lian, and it is Farai Gwazi who now gives us the details of that development.
This week's biggest climber is Sunday Gangsta Salad by Mugaratia, rising from 33rd to 8th place. Timbalami featuring The Unveiled Gorerino tumbled 20 places from the 13th to the 33rd spot. Triple threat of Freeman, Master H and Natio's Chawiriri maintains the top spot for 3 weeks. Entry at 9th spot is Oskid featuring Takura and MRA Attention, Munuwashe. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News, Harad.
Look at me there enjoying the music there, Joyce. Well, that's a wrap on the Sunday edition. From us here in Pocketsville, Joyce Mabika, Piswe Jomonika, as well as myself, Leanne Bernard, not forgetting Sibukile Maposa from our Montrose studio. Just a message coming there from our Facebook page, which is in line with our video of the week. He says, good evening. May the General's soul rest in eternal peace. Rangari right there from Chishawasha Hills. Taking us, Joyce, to the video of the week.
Yes, our video of the week is in honor of the late national heroes, Major General retired Sizva and Komechen Chimtengwende, and it is Rangariro by No Zembe.
Good night.
Good night.